Hello and welcome to today's daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the next stimulus package. All right, now so much has happened over the weekend, but let me start with the financial news and the stimulus-related news first. Democrat leaders in Washington, D.C. are sending the American public mixed messages. On the one hand, we are being told by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that 13 subcommittees concluded their portions of the stimulus package, and the full details of what was put in writing should be coming out any day now. Speaker Pelosi also said she is confident she will get the $1.2 trillion physical infrastructure bill and the $3.5 trillion stimulus package done at the exact same time. She just needs to convince a few loose Democrats of the importance of pushing the Biden agenda forward for the good of the American people. Now, on the flip side, this weekend, Senator Joe Manchin said he thinks Congress should set the stimulus package aside until October. Finish up the $1.2 trillion physical infrastructure bill already passed by Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. Senate, and review the stimulus package once the economy and inflation are better. So he wants to take a pause and look at this down the road, right? Now, some are worried Biden's agenda will stall. But with everything going on at the southern border, worse than last year, forced mandates tearing the country apart, the Afghanistan situation, Democrats need to deliver big for President Joe Biden. Now, Biden took the weekend to relax and vacation from all that is going on, but he said he supports House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and believes she will bring his agenda items to the people. However, it seems Joe Biden really does need to get serious about Joe Manchin. Perhaps they can put some of Manchin's or Manchin's wife's ideas in the next stimulus package to get Manchin back on board like they did in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, right? Maybe kick some money over to Manchin or his wife to get the ball rolling again. All right, now I have a lot more news to share with you and financial information about what's going on in Washington, D.C. Okay, now according to a report from Axios News, President Biden somewhat threatened Manchin by saying the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill he worked on for so long could find itself unable to be passed if Manchin doesn't start acting like a Democrat team player. So it wasn't like a direct threat, but kind of a subtle, hey, we're going to shelve this idea if you don't play the game we want you to play. However, Senator Manchin seems undeterred by the comments and said he truly believes spending $3.5 trillion will make the economy, already struggling with inflation, boil over and lead to even more inflation. Now, Biden disregarded what Manchin had to say and publicly addressed this last week when he said that spending $3.5 trillion will end inflation. That is the way to end inflation, is to spend more money. So President Biden and his economists, are obviously looking at this with a very close eye. All right, now in a major blow to Democrats, the Senate parliamentarian ruled that adding immigration reform to make between 8 million and 20 million immigrants citizens of the United States had nothing to do with stimulus or the financial rules of a budget reconciliation vote. So Democrats will have to take this agenda item up on its own or at a later date. But she's basically saying, listen, making up to 20 million people citizens overnight has nothing to do with stimulus or the financial rules of budget reconciliation, right? Budget reconciliation is a special way of pushing a bill through without the filibuster. And if they get all 50 senators, all 50 Democrat senators and Vice President Kamala Harris on board, they can do it. But this lady is saying, listen, this is not a financial situation. This is an immigration situation, which does not meet budget reconciliation. All right, now, Senator Mark Warner said getting the $3.5 trillion spending bill done is like doing a Rubik's Cube on steroids. It's complicated, he said, likely because of how big the bill is and how many areas Democrats are trying to tackle all at the same time. However, Senator Sanders and Representative Pramila Jayapal have basically told Warner to be quiet on the topic, and that they publicly came out and said that they want the stimulus package to go from 3.5 trillion up to 6 trillion. So it started at 1.7, now it's 3.5, and they want it to be 6 trillion, right? Now, I'm not going to dwell on that or use it in headlines because it's very unlikely that the American people will support spending $6 trillion and 1.2 trillion or 7.2 trillion total. Now, Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat, said in order to help the American people, we might need to open ourselves up to a lower spending bill price tag. So he's still on board for a stimulus package that helps the American people, but even now he's starting to say, I think this price tag might be a little steep. All right, now President Biden called out his own party and said his agenda could be realized if his party would have the courage to tax the people and the businesses like he wants. Biden was apparently very frustrated and disappointed to see Democrat leaders stop pushing to tax businesses 28%. But I think many Democrats realize that it just ends up costing their voters more money. And so with everyone struggling right now, they just couldn't get behind the 28%. But Biden said if you would just tax the people and the businesses and move that 28%, all of my agenda items could be realized. So he's kind of frustrated with his own party, it sounds like. By the way, you know what's not frustrating is when you guys give these videos a like. I really, really appreciate it, and I love bringing you guys the news. All right, now I told you a couple of weeks ago that many in Congress want to see the child tax credit checks extended through 2025. Well, now many Democrats, including Joe Biden, are saying these child tax credit checks should only be available for Americans that actually work a job. So they're kind of changing their definition of who they think should get money from the federal government. Now, over the weekend, things heated up in Texas. In Del Rio, Texas, they suddenly found themselves with over 15,000 illegal immigrants. The governor had to relocate hundreds of Border Patrol agents to the area. They were coming in so fast and in such big numbers that the police and Border Patrol actually had to form a wall of cars and SUVs in order to block the path. So they had to basically build a border wall out of cars in order to get this done. Now, the Biden administration is fighting to keep these people in the country because they have rights as illegal immigrants. But they're saying that the illegal immigrants from Haiti have to be flown back immediately to Haiti, which begs the question, why aren't all illegal aliens sent back to their country? And why are immigrants from Haiti being singled out as the only ones that need to be deported? I don't have an answer for you, but this is what was in the news, okay? All right, now, Biden and the military are again losing credibility with the American people. Several weeks ago, a drone strike was ordered, and then we were told that two major ISIS leaders were then for days and days in press conferences, the Pentagon and the White House both refused to tell the names of the ISIS leaders. Now we are finding out that the drone strike, a family of Afghanistans that helped the military for many, many years. In total, 6 or 7 of the 10 were young children. Now, General McKenzie, who's heading this up, announced over the weekend that this was a mistake against this family and that they should have been more upfront with the American people sooner. Biden has not publicly commented on the airstrike that 10 people and 7 children, but I imagine when he gets back from vacation, he'll mention it in a press conference. All right, now Representative Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, said Biden should be investigated for war crimes and that the of civilian children in a drone strike is a big deal. Here's what he had to say. We must take every precaution when it comes to protecting civilian lives and hold ourselves accountable when we fail. While there is no overstating the chaotic and dangerous situation in Kabul following the fall of the Afghan government and the attack on our forces by ISIS-K, it is clear that the August 29th strike was a mistake with horrific consequences. Some are now questioning whether President Biden should be allowed to order drone strikes without full knowledge of a situation. The company Twitter announced they have settled a lawsuit which will cost them $809 million in settlement fees. Twitter publicly claimed that they are innocent and free of wrongdoing, and to prove it, they will pay the $809 million fine. So they're so guilt-free that they're going to pay $800 to prove it. All right, now just about every stock on the stock market exchanges are down today. With all of the bad news about the economy, the White House, the financial firm in China on the verge of bankruptcy, and inflation while companies' numbers are starting to slow, all of this has led to a major sell-off in the stock market, and so stock values are heading down. So if you hold stocks, this is the time that you either sell and run, or you hold the stock knowing that in the future it will most likely bounce back and you'll be just fine, right? They call this a paper loss. Now, if you have any money on the side, this could be a great buying opportunity, as many of these great companies have depressed prices and you might be able to buy them at a discounted price. All right, now on some lighter news, right? This is a heavy report. Americans can take pride in knowing that an American hound dog just set a new Guinness Book of World Records record for having the longest ears. The hound dog has 13-inch ears. The owner was concerned about the length of the ears and so took the dog in for a vet checkup. This is when it was decided that the dog should be checked to see whether its ears broke any kind of world records. And it turns out it broke all of them, right? This dog has like Dumbo-sized ears, and it's a real cutie of a dog. So anyway, just some lighter news to end this heavy day. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. According to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, we should see a lot of important details come out this week about the next stimulus package, the upcoming vote on the physical infrastructure package, and the battle that's just now heating up over the U.S. debt ceiling situation. So it's going to be a week full of incredible information, and I'll be here to share it all with you. All right, now before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.